Hey monkeys. So I'm here because I said that I would do this, and I lost my cup of coffee. So I'm wandering around trying to find where I put my cup of coffee, but I don't know. So anyhow, today I had planned to do the Tangram tumbler, and as I had said before, so I totally lost a cup of coffee. I have no idea where it went. I'm really bummed. So anyhow, I plan to show you all how to get started on one of these, which is the Tangram. So here's the thing about Tangrams, and I want to cover some points on doing one of these that I've done a few. This is probably one of the most challenging cups that I have ever made. So, hi guys, I see some folks are watching. It's definitely challenging. This is not the cup for you if you get frustrated really easily, if you don't want to put a lot of time into it. Hey Stephanie, hi. Hi, Kyle. Or Kylie, I'm sorry. So, it's not easy to do. I'm not going to lie. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest thing in the world. It's very time consuming. It's precision. And you're going to go through, as you see in different groups, and everybody's kind of making their own versions of the Tangram. There's a lot of confusion. Like, I know Bonnie posted the other day, she was like, she didn't understand what was happening because there was one particular artist who was leaving spaces, and instead of having it be in the V's, which is the traditional way, they were kind of coming down and doing two on one side and then having these two be different colors. This is total artistic interpretation when it comes to these. So basically what happens with these designs is if you look up the word Tangram, it's a geometric formation. There are 7 different forms that can be done, anything from a rhombus, a parallelogram, triangle, things like that. And they're used for a cognitive and motor skill development. It also helps children develop IQ, things like that, where you have these shapes and what you're doing is you're actually making them into something. So it's really cool as far as, an interpretation for yourself of how do you want these to look. What you're actually using is not the Tangram. You're using a tessellation, which is actually the shape that we're using in order to make the Tangram is the parallelogram, which is basically it's a rectangle that's sort of tilted up one side. So you've got an even side on this side, an even side on this side, and then the two sides here and here are all even. This is what forms your V shape. So there's actually 2 that come up together. So, again, like I said, I can't actually do the one that I wanted to do because my vinyl did not show up. USPS lost 2 different orders of removable vinyl. I did try it with permanent vinyl. It's kind of a pain. This one here, I did permanent vinyl. It's kind of a pain to get off. So the trick that I found was, in order to use permanent vinyl instead of removable vinyl, is use a semi-gloss or a satin finish to prime your cup. That works really good because basically you're going to be covering all of that up anyhow. The things that you need, I'm going to cover. I'll answer any questions that you guys might have, if anybody's going to bother to watch it. Anyhow, you start off with your pattern. So there's two different ways that you can get your pattern. First of all, you can go Google and look up Tangram. You're going to actually find a bunch of different possibilities. One is the actual pattern that you would use, only it's kind of on a sheet of paper. So if you're really crafty and you're really good with warping images to get it to go onto the cup, that's a great option. The second option is you buy your template. LEB Creates on Etsy has some great ones, and what I really like about hers is that she has a whole bunch of different ones that are available. It's the same Tangram, but it's done by the designer's cup. So like if you're ordering cups from Mother Tumbler or Hogue or, any of the main ones, she's already converted it so that it's going to wrap your cup perfectly. Well worth the $4 that she charges, because it's going to save you like hours of headache and aggravation. Again, this cup is not easy. It is not quick. It takes time. But I find things like this to be very soothing for me to help with pain management. So I'll sit down and I'll just, get into my stuff. And it takes away a lot of it. This is an example of once you get your design, you print it out, it's already warped. And it wraps all the way around your cup. What I do is I actually mark out my spots so I know what color. No, it's not, Stephanie, honestly. I've got some really like bad stuff going on in there, and there's a lot of degeneration. I'm not going to be able to operate on it because of the different things there's like 5 different things that are happening in my back. And, we do the best we can. We pray a lot. We, ask for strength. And I'm going to spend a lot more time doing lives and trying to kind of, I never really thought of this as like a business for me, my art. But I think I'm going to have to go that way because I can't really do the work that that I love. Unfortunately, I don't feel right about it. And being a end-of-life doula and, grief counselor is something that really takes a lot to do. You have to be in the right mindset. And when the pain levels are too high, I just can't do that for people. So unfortunately, it stinks, but maybe there's another reason. Maybe I'm just going to be teaching art full-time and helping people perfect their stuff. So, but thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the other big thing that I found that was super frustrating with this cup was I thought, hey, I made a pattern and I also bought a pattern from LEB Creates. That was definitely the way to go. I mean, like, oh my gosh, so good. Saved me so much time, energy, trying to get the thing to line up, everything. But doing a wrap is, oh my golly, I was like gonna screech. I just like, I can't even tell you how frustrating it is, because you've got a piece of vinyl that is, first of all, it's sticky. And secondly, if you let go of it, it just like, it like crinkles and wrinkles. And I'm not trying to like tell people don't do it, because I loved it and I thought that was really cool. I'm just letting you know about the things you need to really be careful about and watch, when you're doing it. So once you get your vinyl printed, so this is just an example of the vinyl, because I'm doing this live in like tumbler tutors too, so I wanted to kind of be prepared. And you get your backing on here. What I'm going to recommend that you do is find the center, peel back your stuff, cut it, and make yourself sections So when you lay it on your cup, because you're actually going from the middle here on the rim. Let me show you. I don't have another blank. On the rim of the cup. So this will line up to the top and the bottom, and then peel it back and come around. What I do end up doing is laying it down, and then peeling up one side and sliding it, and go wicked slow, because the one thing that I found, the difference between using permanent vinyl and the removable vinyl is the removable vinyl like wrinkles really easy, and it like bubbles and warps up. And honestly, I really don't know the difference between the two when it comes to doing something like this, because I did do permanent vinyl on my very first one. And yeah, it was a little bit sticky and a little bit hard to get off, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's immovable. Like it came off. So I don't see what the difference is if you don't have removable vinyl versus permanent vinyl. I really don't see a difference in it. Okay, so I think I'm making sense here. If I'm not making sense, ask me. Once you get it wrapped around your cup, I really recommend that when you pick out your colors, like you think, hey, I'm going to do these colors. So I usually start with, I do 4. And the reason that I do 4 is because with the template that I got, there are actually 7 sections. So 1, 2, hold on, let me get the other one. It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 7. So you can see I pulled the V off of the bottom. There are 7. So if you're only doing 3, a rotation of 3, you end up with a double space. So like these 2 would be the same if you're like me and I'm wicked OCD and I don't like the whole like really random thing. So I want them to actually look like this and wrap around the cup. The problem, like I said, is with 3 and you're going and you're doing a rotation of color, you end up with 2 spaces being the same, and to me it makes me crazy. So I thought about leaving that one section blank, filling it in with like a solid glitter. Really, it's total choice. Another point that to make, and again, these are just helpful tips for you guys, and I'm actually going to do the live. My vinyl's out for delivery right now, so it should be here. So I'll pop in like tomorrow or Sunday after or before I do one of the other lives, and do an actual live on it. Be careful of your colors. So what I think the best thing to do is take the Tangram picture, whether you get it on Google or you buy it from, a maker, LEB or whoever, print it out and then color it in. Ladies, please save yourself so much time and energy and aggravation, because you pick out these colors, and while they look amazing together in the bottles, what happens is sometimes the colors are too close, sometimes they don't really work. So I started off by doing this beachy one, and I was like, yeah, I want to do beachy one, this is going to look really awesome. And so I picked out 4, because I tried one with 7 and it was just like way too much. Hey Jamie, how are you? Thank you. Appreciate it. It is just way too many colors to try and get it. You'll get 2. So there's, I believe, 14 spaces that come down here. And you'll get 2 repetitions of color if you're going to use the 7. But I really, like I said, I done it a bunch of different ways. I really like the way that the 4 works out, because it actually lets you get an even rotation around here, and it looks a lot better. But what ends up happening with your colors is these two, while they look completely different in the bottle, like they just, even holding them up together, look completely different. As I started applying them and putting them on, can you see they're like so close? Like the color's so close, even though this one here is more like a greeny, has a more like light greeny blue color, and this is more the dark. It's like way too close. And again, you're going to put nail tape around here, which again, that's something else I'm waiting for. And it's still, I don't know what's going on with the mail. It's insane. Like they just lose packages or not delivering stuff properly. So you're going to have a division in here, but it's still not going to be enough. So that's what I'm saying is if you're going to spend all the hours and the time in order to be able to make one of these guys, you really want to take the time and invest the time into planning out your cup, unless you just want a random, like I said. And I've seen a lot of random cups that people do, and personally, it looks to me like somebody threw up all over the cup and they just couldn't make a choice in what color that they wanted to use or put where. It's very splotchy. I'm not a big abstract fan. It's always something I always had trouble in our classes with, is, they're telling us do this abstract kind of thing, and I'm just kind of like, my brain doesn't wrap that way. I like to see definition. I like to see the flow of color, how it goes, the gradients that happen, and that's me. That's just my personal opinion. But if you like the splotchy, crazy Jackson Pollock kind of look, then go for it. Whatever you like. What else? I found that closer colors work really good, and then have like a real offset contrast works super nice. So that when I do the live, when the vinyl comes in, I'm actually going to use the raspberry. I love this color. It's so pretty. I was thinking kind of like, it's a Valentine's Day is coming up, and I kind of want to make something for a friend of mine. So I pulled out all my glitters, and I looked at, and I love the raspberry, so I'm going to use a raspberry. I'm going to use this like light pinky color, because I didn't have one of these from Purple Monkey. So I'm just going to use this one. And then I'm going to use Pink Carnation, which again, these all work together. And then I'm going to use this my favorite gold, which is Sandy Beach. It's my absolute favorite gold that Amy carries. So these are the colors that I'll be doing. Little tips on the wrap. So once you get the wrap, and if you decide that you're going to buy your design, they'll ask you, they'll say, okay, well, this is for a 20 ounce, this is for a 30 ounce. As long as you have the sizing dimensions of your cup, the one pattern will work. If you're financially having a hard time, I did get both. And then I figured it out, and I was kind of like, wow, I shouldn't have bothered to spend the $4, but I did. It's $4, hey, pick out your colors careful. That's why I say coloring in this sheet. Even just if you take a little bit of glitter, don't just do one row, do 2 or 3 even. So this was sort of this is my practice cup where I was trying different colors, and then what I'll do is it's just Mod Podge, so I'll soak it off in the sink. Make sure you do a couple of rows so that you can actually see how these are going to look when you get them on. So again, this is where I started here, and I got so disappointed because those two colors are almost identical, even though they're completely different in the bottles, that when you actually get them on a cup, totally different. Okay. You will need a tumbler of choice, whatever, and it honestly needs to be a skinny. If you get a straight skinny, way easier, like way easier. You can just get a template right off of Google for Tangram. I can post it up so people can do it. Just put it in design space, click out all the little blocks, and boom. Also, by doing that, you'll end up having lines that go in between, which are like going to be super helpful when you go to place your nail tape over the space. Because nail tape, again, when you finish this and you seal it and then you put your epoxy on here, you're actually going to get a couple of layers of epoxy on, and then you're going to come around and you're going to put all this definition of nail tape to divide all these spots up. Then you'll put your final epoxy on there. So that's usually when people posting up cups, you're going to see that. So you're going to need the tumbler. So either 20 or 30 ounce tumbler, whichever, doesn't matter. A template that's there, your glitters, Mod Podge or Tack It. I don't really know Tack It. I think I've mentioned that before. I really don't know Tack It well. I want to try and play with it because a lot of people like it better than the Mod Podge. So whatever works for you doesn't matter. Get your glitter, and then get yourself some little cups. I get the little medicine cups, and what you're gonna do, because once you get your spray paint, sand your cup, prep your cup the way that you would any cup. Use it doesn't matter. I think if you use a matte or a semi-gloss, satin, whatever, it doesn't matter. Do that, and then wrap your vinyl. Get all your vinyl, put onto your cup, and then mix up your Mod Podge or your Tack It. And I usually do a little bit of water dilution in there just because I want it to be smooth and I don't want a bunch of lumps in it. And then take a matching acrylic paint, whatever you're going to be using on your cup, and add it right in there to your Mod Podge or your Tack It. The reason is because it's going to save you from having to go back in 3 or 4 times. It's sort of like doing the plaid, where you're going in, and if you've got like a white base and you're putting black or like a darker color on, it takes several times in order to be able to get it to really cover good. And so with this one, what I did was I mixed up. I had like kind of a goldish color, in my Mod Podge, and then I had like a light blue. I just put like more paint in. I had a couple, like a drop of the light blue, and then I put like 3 drops in for the next shade, and whatever works, whatever, because what it is it's just going to make it easier for you. And that's really, you're off and you're running at that point. You're just peeling off your pieces, which are kind of fun to do. I kind of liked it. Honestly, it was like, this was my test cup, and you just kind of grab yourself some tweezers or whatever and just pull off one V. Some people like to say, I'm going to do like my silver. They'll pull off all their silvers spaces, and that's where this really comes in handy, where like, okay, silver is number 3, and make a little notation, and then pull off all the number 3s, and then you can just go through the whole thing and make sure you get all your silver on. if you need to reapply, then you can do that before you take off anything else. I find that I like to pull my next one off. So if I have a lot of glue on something while I'm doing it, like, I'm coming up and I've got a lot of glue, I'll just lift this right off. So, because I know I have good coverage, I'll just pull that right off and let it dry. So that's where the really time consuming stuff comes in, is you have to let it dry in between. You do. Because if you touch it, and again, I think this is way more complicated than doing the plaid. If you touch it, like I just picked up my cup and I touched the black, and it pushed the glitter out of the way. So now I'd have to come back in and reapply my black to that. Keep in mind that every time you put an application of glitter on, it's going to change the level, the depth. So, you want this flat. Well, if I go back in here now and I put on another layer of black, it's going to raise that up, even though I'm going to try to tap it down, but we're dealing with fine glitter here. And fine glitter goes muddy. That does that weird muddy thing really quickly. So that's kind of my tips on doing one. Hopefully, like I said, my stuff will be in really soon. Like I said, it's out for delivery, supposedly. Let's hope that it comes, because I really want to show you guys how to do this. And if you need the templates, I won't give you the template that I bought off Etsy, but I will give you the other template if you want it. And you can just make your own. That works too. If you know how to, I think it's called warping, so it wraps around the cup and you can take some of the stuff off the sides. If you know how to do that, the pattern that I'm going to give you is going to work. So just message me and let me know that you want it, and I'll send it to you. The other way is like I said, you just buy it. It's $4. Her name is LEB Creates on Etsy. She's got, like I said, a whole bunch for the different, the different style cups. So if you buy your cups from Mother Tumbler or Hogue directly, or I think it's like Steel Magnolias or whatever. She's got like a whole bunch of different cup sellers that she's actually taken and converted the files so that they fit on there. So I covered the vinyl. I covered the making sure that you color, use a coloring sheet. It's really worth your time. I'm not going to lie. Like I made a little video the other day where I was talking about, and I was prepping for this, where I was talking about doing these color storyboards where you're taking your colors and you're putting them down and you're kind of saying, hey, these are the colors that I want to use. And you think, oh, wow, yeah, these are going to look great together. Well, they look pretty like this, which is essentially what I was doing with this strip right here. Is I started off by wanting to do a beach cup, and I was like, oh, yeah, I really like how these look. And, except for this top one, I really love it. And I did my first row, and I was like, ugh, yuck. I really hated how it looked, so I ended up kind of scraping all that off and starting over again. So, anyhow, I hope this helped you guys. The Mod Podge with the paint in it is really helpful, like unbelievably helpful. And anyhow, so as soon as my stuff comes in, I will let everybody know. And I will be, I'll come on and I'll show you all how to frustrate yourself by doing one of these. The painting part isn't frustrating. It's like really cool. The hard part is getting the wrap around the cup with the big piece of vinyl. I did find that doing it in sections. Like I said, once you print it out, peel back about half, split it in the middle, and then do a couple of divisions so that you can actually start your cup in the middle, the top and the bottom, peel back just a little bit, get one side secure, and then come back in on your other side. That's gonna help a lot, because I've tried it both ways. I tried peeling the whole thing off and putting it on the cup. I tried peeling up a little bit on one side and then starting going around the cup, and it always went really bad. It actually, a couple of them, while I was prepping, a couple of them I ended up having to go and peel off all the vinyl because they were just so messed up going around. So that's the hardest part to me. That's the hardest part of the cup, is getting the vinyl down. Once you get the vinyl down, smooth sailing. It's time consuming, but it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be awesome. So plan out your colors. So, okay, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Stephanie, thank you for hanging out with me. And I hope, if you guys have questions, if you need the file for the Tangram, the plain one, that's fine. And if not, then we will, get your file from LEB, or they have a whole bunch of different ones on Etsy. I don't really know any of the other makers. All right, guys, and I will see you guys very soon to get this thing going. Bye.